Yo, my name is Julien Melnick and welcome back to the Console Gaming channel. Guys, we are button mashers, thumbstick thrashers, and here to have a good time playing video games. This guy right here is honestly the topic of today's conversation. And after having it for 2 years, purchasing an Xbox Series X twice, returning one, selling the second one to my buddy, I'm still here on the Xbox Series S. And I want to talk to you guys about whether or not this purchase during this Black Friday season or just going into the next year is a good one, especially if you're already an Xbox owner, if you're not an Xbox owner, or if you're someone who is not playing any video games at all. So let's first approach it from the Xbox owner perspective. So if you already have an Xbox One S, One X, and you don't have one of these current gen gaming systems, let's talk about the Series S as an option. First off, if you have a One S, the Series S is going to outperform it day and night. Quick resume as a feature is unbelievable, switching between games, and that just goes across the board. Even with the One X, quick resume blows the One X out of the water. My buddy has a One X, and seriously, like the quick resume, that right there allows you to do what I think is the most important thing when it comes to video games, and that is to play more video games and wait less. That is why we're here. We're here to play video games. So the least amount of waiting you can do, that's a really, really rad option. Two is going to be if you're already an One S or a One X user, the frame rates, okay? So this does offer 120 frames per second at a reduced resolution versus the Series X. And if you have a One S, it's going to outperform that. If you have One X, it will also outperform that as far as frame rates are concerned. Let's talk about resolution. This does not do true native 4K resolution. In some instances, it might, but for the most part, this is an upscaled 4K. For most of you, with the exception of those who can tell the difference, and if you can tell the difference between regular and upscaled, you obviously aren't looking at purchasing the Series S as your primary console. Maybe a secondary console with something like this, the Upspec X screen, which is freaking dope. This whole system right here is actually how I primarily use my Series S now. It is an incredible system with this screen. I love it, but that's a video for another time. The upscaled 4K is beautiful. It's awesome. I've used it on a 4K 65-inch 60 Hz TV, looks great. I've used it on a 4K monitor. I've used it on a 1440p 144 Hz monitor. Of course, I can't get 144 out of this, but 120. I've used it on a OLED LG C2. I've used it across the board, and I'll tell you the image quality is great. Does the Series X look better? If you have one of those OLED panels that does output an image with the craziest clarity, you're going to see a slight difference if you have both side by side and you really try to pay attention. That's really what it takes to see the difference. Again, so the Series S, native versus upscaled. The One X has native 4K, although I don't think it looks as good as the Series S's 4K upscaled in most games. It is able to give you that native if that's a stat you want. So now let's talk to the people who are not Xbox owners. Okay, this is gonna be pretty quick and pretty easy. If you're not an Xbox owner and you're looking to purchase an Xbox, the Series S is the best option for you for multiple reasons, and I'm just gonna get to them really quickly. One, with Game Pass Ultimate, you're able to play games for $15 a month and try them out. Whether you like them or not, the commitment is low. There it is, 15 bucks a month. Over the course of a year, I think it comes out to being like $180 a month, or if you take the cents away, I think it's $179.88 if we're really getting super nitpicky on that. Along with that, you're also able to play games from EA Play Store, such as this guy right here, Jedi Fallen Order. And just so you know, I just turned my Xbox Series S on, and I'm playing Jedi Fallen Order. And let's say that I wanna go over and play Halo Infinite. Okay, we're gonna play some Halo Infinite right now. Halo Infinite is an online game, so it will take some loading to go into Halo Infinite, but then I'm gonna prove the point here. So we are getting into Halo Infinite, right? So I can load into a lobby, but I'm not gonna mess that up. What I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna switch back to Fallen Order. We see this screen right here, and from there, we should be able to play in just a moment. Look at that. That is quick resume. And so for those of you who aren't Xbox owners, even if you're a PlayStation 5 owner, that feature sells it to me. And that's available on the Series S as well as the Series X. And that's because it's utilizing its velocity architecture, proprietary verbiage, solid state drive, and really good optimization is essentially what it is. If you want more techie stuff, go to a techie channel to figure out what all that stuff means. But you just saw a real life example of what quick resume can do. So that is a really, really awesome thing. So if you're not an Xbox owner, this right here is a great entry level Xbox for you to use because, again, it's on sale for $250 right now, but if you're watching this after the Black Friday deals, if you're in 2023, $300, guys. Honestly, a really, really great option. Now, for both the Xbox gamers and the non-Xbox gamers that are looking at this, you're wondering, what about disk drive? There's no disk drive. Also, the hard drive space seems pretty small. I'll tell you, having a PlayStation 5, that hard drive space is too small. I've upgraded my internal storage to 2 additional terabytes, and I'm starting to fill even that up. So on the Xbox, when it comes to gaming, yes, 512 and it's like 386, I believe, of usable storage is not a lot, but 1 terabyte is still not a lot. So I highly recommend getting external hard drive space, and we can talk about that in another video. There really isn't information on discs anymore. The all digital future is unfortunately the reality. So this really honestly is what we're gonna see moving forward. The Series X does have a disk drive. So if you have a back catalog of games, then for the Xbox owners already, that might be something you wanna look at, but chances are those games are gonna show up on Game Pass eventually. Also, there's rumors of them utilizing some sort of verification process so you can download it digitally. That I don't know if that's gonna happen or not. But lastly, the chances that you're gonna go back and play one of those old games is probably relatively low, and you're not looking at upgrading your system just to play an old game. So there's that as well. Now, for anyone who doesn't own any video games at all, no Nintendo Switch, no PlayStation, no Xbox, is this for you? And I'd say out of all of the systems right now, I would lean towards yes for a couple reasons. One, $250 guys, or $300. Game Pass allows you to play games. They launch day 1 and you can play them on here with that subscription service. So that value right there is pretty high. And so with a system this small, transporting it to other people's houses, pretty easy. But if you're looking to get into some of these gaming situations, this thing's gonna deliver, and it's gonna be really, really great and fun. If you're looking between this, the PlayStation, and Nintendo Switch, it depends on what you like to play, right? So if you really have zero preference at all, you're like, I just wanna kind of dabble, this is the perfect dabble machine. We love Mario, we love Zelda, that's my favorite console, but I can't deny that this is such a good entry-level gaming system. Now, the last thing I want to address is longevity. Is this thing gonna last? Well, after 2 years of owning this, I've sold off an Xbox, well, I've returned one Xbox Series X, I sold the other one, and I keep coming back to this for one reason. It just works, and it works well. Now, I already have a PlayStation 5, so if I'm looking for high resolution gaming, it's gonna be happening on my PlayStation 5. If I didn't have a PlayStation 5 though, I would still utilize the Series S because as far as the Series X is concerned, it's great. This thing though is plugged into a monitor. My PlayStation 5 is plugged into a monitor, but PlayStation 5 is the only body option, right? If they had a lesser one, like a Slim that had a slightly less performance, I would absolutely go for that. I don't need that insane performance personally, especially when we get something like this that has performance that is so good, unnoticeable between the two unless you actually try. Actually try. So that being said, I'm impressed. I am more than impressed with how this thing runs, and I honestly would say that if you are looking to get an Xbox this season, this guy is a great play. The people that should get a Series X are people who already have the peripherals and honestly need to have that disk drive. That is the big thing. If you don't have peripherals to play, you're going to witness a very, very similar performance. Now, if you want more information on this playlist right here is all of my Series S videos. Cool thing about it is they still are relevant. That is how awesome this thing is. It's still relevant 2 years later. And those videos are, I'm proud of them. I'm proud of them. All right, happy gaming. Oh,